Hello there. Hey, what's up, Wing Chun? How's it going? Hey, Losh. Nice of you to join. What's up, Sal? How's it going? What's up, Benjamin? Hey, Casey. Glad you could join. Happy New Year, everyone. Yay. Speaking of New Year's, I have to go to temple tonight. So, let's do some reading. Then I'll do some praying. What's up, Rude Noise? How's it going? Yeah, so New Year's is tomorrow. So tonight I'm gonna go to temple. My family have a tradition where we go to temple and then afterwards, we get home at like around midnight, and then one person gets to step into the house, okay? And we get to choose who steps into the house first, because that person decides where how the next or how this year is going to go. Yeah, and I'm not sure how you determine who walks in. It has to do with the year. So it's the year of the horse, and yeah, and it depends on like how old you are and what zodiac sign you are. My parents figured that out for me. It's a pot of gold or a sunny side. What do I call you now? All right. You're a dragon? Awesome. What's up, Nikki? How's it going? My brother's also a dragon. I wonder who gets to step into the house first tonight. All right. Wordle. You're him. You're my brother. I knew it. Oh, thanks, Losh. Yay! I got a red envelope. Woohoo! You need a year of the monkey. Are you a monkey? All right. Aha! Starting out the year with a good wordle. All right, can I do it in the third word? Rots store? No. Rots like crots. Brats, drots, grots. Rots. No. R. Roost. Roost! It's gotta be roost, right? Whoa! Alright. I'm walking into the house first tonight. I'm lucky. How do you say that? 新年快乐. Oh yeah? Do you know how to say it in Cantonese? All right. Buck, scream, do, laugh. Fawn, doe, flight, squawk. Hoot, fight, riot, doe. Freeze, cackle, doe, cluck. Doe. Doe. Cluck. Squawk. Hoot. And what? It's not doe, right? What animal does that? The Homer animal. Fight, riot, doe. Flight. Fawn. Buck, scream, do, laugh. Squawk. Cackle? I think it's cackle. But then I see this. I see doe, 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 and doe. Is this a trick? I gotta try it though. Doe, 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 and do. Aha! Okay, okay, okay. I think it's hoot, cluck, cackle, and squawk. One away. So it's not cackle, cluck, squawk, hoot, fawn, buck, fight, riot, flight, fawn. Is that an animal sound? Fawn, buck, riot. Well, it's a riot. Is a laugh? Is cackle? Scream? Fight or flight? Fight or flight? Laugh. It's laugh. It's a hoot. It's a riot. It's a scream. Yeah. Okay. Not an animal sound then. Fawn, fight, buck. Fawn, buck. Flight. Freeze, flight, or fight. Fight, flight, freeze. Well, when you encounter a danger, you can fight. You can take flight. You can freeze. What else can you do? You can squawk, cluck. You can buck, fawn, buck, buck. One away. Cluck, squawk, cackle, fawn. What? Well, if it's this, it would be cluck, squawk, cackle, and buck. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Freeze, fight, flight, buck. Fawn, cackle, squawk, cluck. Let's try that. I really guessed that. Fuck. Stress response. Fawn? What is a what is a fawn? Sound a chicken makes. Oh, I didn't know buck was the sound a chicken makes. Pie it me. Thanks so much for the red envelope. I appreciate it. Make a story of Tanabata sequel. Wait, there's a sequel to that? What do you mean? You can fawn over danger. Wait. Stress response fawn. I'm fawn. The fawn stress response is a trauma-based survival mechanism. Oh, people-pleasing compliance. Oh, and boundary abandonment to avoid conflict or abuse. Oh, is that a trauma-based response? I thought that was just a normal response. That's what I do. I didn't know there were 4. Okay. Here come the ads. Let's do this. You're fawning with stress. Stress. 3. There were 3, then they updated it. Oh, I see. Fight. Flight. Avoid. Run. Create. Fly. Lift. Plane. Sky. Fall. Running. Flight. White. Air. Craft. Swim. Water. Go. Point. Flight. Flap. Like a flapping of the wings. Wing. Do. Mineral. Reach. Flight. Rain. Shine. Chicken. Cluck. Buck. Buck. I guess buck is a chicken. Buck. Is that what? I thought it was like buck, like that. Duck. Coward. Coward. Hold on. Fear. Afraid. The trauma. Bird. Wimp. Beak. Beak. Eat. Pluck. Man. Man. Beak. Bite. Kiss. Attack. Claw. Face. Head. Head. Nose. Like a beak. A big nose. No. Mouth. Eyebrows. Head. Head. Eyes. Eyes. Nostril. What is that thing on your upper lip? Philtrum? Philtrum? Fultrum? I think I learned that on the stream one day. Forgot it. Face. Cheek. Beak. Head. How about a neck? Hair. Skull. Bone. What? Ear. Mustache. Hand. Body. Feet. Arm. Okay, arm is kind of close. Head. Headmaster. Master. Head. Head, face. What else? Head. Leader? Leader! Oh, boss. Oh, idol. Statue. Manager. Executive. President. Boss. Employee. Workplace. Lead. Leadership. Employer. Role. Supervisor. Boss. Leader. Champion. CEO. Hiring. Hirer. Superior. King. Command. Wait. Command. Commander? General? Leader, boss. Idol, leader, boss. Top. Patriarch. Ooh, I like that. Patriarch. I love the patriarchy. Boss, leader, idol, commander. Huh. Captain? I feel like we're hero. Comrade. In arms. Co-worker. Colleague. Aha! Ho, ho, ho. Colleague. Friend. No, your colleague is not your friend. Colleague, friend, co-worker, teammate, mate, team, member, partner, colleague. How about rival, peer, unit? We got teammate, rival, colleague, ally, peers with an S. Peers with an S is higher than peer, singular. How about colleagues? No, it can't be right. Opponent. Opponent, I like that. Support. Supporter. Colleague. Co-workers. Wait, we did co-worker, right? Yeah. Colleague. College. College. No. Professor. Cohort. Sidekick. Ah. You mean rivals with an S? Rivals with an S is higher than rival. Maybe it's like a group, a gang, a membership. We did do partner, I believe. We didn't do partners. Nope. Colleague, rivals. Mentor, duo. Fuck. Couple. A colleague. Okay, at work you have colleagues. What else? What do you have? What is similar to colleagues? You know, teammates. You have superiors. You have inferiors. You would not call them that, but colleague, rival, equal, subordinate, back, subsal, colleague. Help us. We got colleague, rivals, rival, teammate. Nemesis. I like that. Nemesis. Like partners, but adjacent. Arch enemy? Teammate, we tried. Hmm. What about shareholder? Thinking companies. Nope. Compadre. Associate. Oh, I was thinking about that. Foil. Compatriot. Huh? Compatriots. Patriot. Time going added when you started. 11 minutes so far. You're like a math genius. Patriot. Colleague. Compatriot. Compatriots. Colleague. Partner. Comrade. What do you call the person who helps you in a crime? Accomplice. Nope. Understudy. Witness. Colleague, eh? Partner. Conspirator. I like that. Brother in arms. Oh, that's pretty good. Brothers. Brothers is lower. Colleague. Enemy. We tried. Family. Cousin. Oh? Sibling. Twins. Antagonist. Protagonist. What about a supporting character? A martial brother? Parents. Colleague. Compatriot. A sect member. Shifu. Sect. Members. Colleague. Husband. Wife. Reporting on another channel for harassment. Are you reporting this channel? Buddy. Oh, buddy is good. Bud. No, a colleague, so not a friend? Maybe a friend? A foe? Alright, we're supposed to do this fast so I can go to the temple, guys. For New Year's. We gotta do this. Compatriots. Colleague. Friend. Rival. What else is there? Defender. Pal. Pal. Buddy. Colleague. Compatriot. Professor. Accessory. Guy. Oh no. 15 minutes. Opponents. Opponents. Proponent. Backer. Nope. Match. Obstacle. Cooperator. What's someone on a superhero team but not a teammate? Like a... not sidekick but equals. League. Collaborator. Oh, wait. Wait. Is this it? No. Sidekick. The Xavier guy? Collab. Professor? Professor X? Counterpart. Oh my god. She's so good. Good job, Casey. counterpart. You know, I don't know if I would get this one if it were just me. That's not a normal word in my repertoire. All right. Good job. I got this. What is it? What is it? Kind of like a rice little thing. Little poops. All right. I gotta figure out how to open it now. Oh no. It's one of those unopenable packages. Okay, not bad. Oh my god. I opened it with that technique. Unbelievable. It never happens. Alright, we got some green ones and we got some like rice colored ones. What is this? Green one looks good. Oh fuck! I made a mess. Oh no. Little Rice Krispies. Oh, wait. It's sweet. I thought it would be a little bit salty. Okay. See if I can show you. Is it matcha rice flavor? I don't know. Look. Crunchy matcha rice snack. That was quite the crunch there. That's a 9 out of 10. Yep. Matcha flavored. A little sweet. I would have liked it to be salty. I expected it salty, but you know, you take what you can get. Not bad. It's a 7 out of 10. 9 out of 10 crunch though. Straight 9? That is a 9 out of 10 crunch. Right there. Add the salt. I'm gonna put salt in, shake it. That's what you do when you eat ramen out of the package, right? You take the you crush up the ramen and then you take the little flavor packet and you just put it in and you shake it and you eat it. Ah, so good. I had a ramen brand that I used to do that when I was a kid, and the flavor packet was just perfect for it. But I can't find it anymore. But now I can. But now I can just do it myself. I use like the 5 spice powder and then a little MSG or salt and some white pepper. I think that's it. Yeah, and then I put it in and I shake it. Tastes pretty good. You eat the ramen brick, snort the powder, drink the boiling water, then jump around to mix inside. Or that. Alright, you ready? Alright. What happened last week? So last week, Yang Guo and Lu Wushuang, they meet on the road. 2 high-ranking 8-bag elders of the Beggar Clan. Now these elders, they try to confront Lu Wushuang because they think that she beat up their fellow sect members. But just then, Li Mocho and her disciple Hong Lingbo, they arrive. Now Yang Guo and Lu Wushuang, they're in disguise, okay? But Yang Guo is afraid that they'll see through her disguise, so he tries to do like a distraction. He claims to be a disciple of the Chenjun sect, okay? And he starts a fight with the Beggar Clan. He forces the elders to run away from the scene. And when he returns to the group, Li Mocho asks who he is. And Yang Guo claims to be the disciple or a disciple of Wang Chongyang, which obviously Li Mocho does not believe because Wang Chongyang lived a long time ago. But to escape without fighting a real battle, which he knows he'll lose, Yang Guo provokes Li Mocho into making this bet. Okay, he says that he bets that he'll survive 3 of her moves, 3 of her strikes. And she agrees, okay, because she thinks that she'll just kill this guy or just defeat him really quickly. They fight, and Li Mocho is actually, she's super strong, however, and she overpowers him, okay? But, when Yang Guo is in danger, his Ouyang Feng techniques activate. So he activates his one of Ouyang Feng's things that he taught him, the reverse meridian technique, and he fights upside down and he snatches her whisk. Okay, she's like confused. She doesn't know where to attack. He snatches her whisk, and in the confusion, Yang Guo and Lu Wushuang flee on horseback, but not before poisoning Li Mocho's meal. So they run away. They hide from their enemies. And Yang Guo decides to disguise him and Lu Wushuang as attendants to this Mongolian official. Okay, now they subdue this official. His name is Yulu Jin, and he's actually the son of the powerful Grand Chancellor dude. His name is Yulu Chu Tai. Now Yulu Jin is defeated, okay, because he can't compete with Yang Guo. He's defeated. He agrees to do whatever they want. But he realizes that they just want to disguise themselves as his attendants. So he agrees. Just then, his father comes with the rest of his family. And Yang Guo and Lu Wushuang, they dismiss themselves. Now, while resting somewhere near, they hear some mysterious woman in black attempting to assassinate Yulu Chu Tai. Now, the man's 2 other children intervene to defend their father, and they show off their own impressive martial arts. Yang Guo is impressed by the techniques of the brother, Yulu Qi, which he sees that his techniques look similar to the Chen Jin techniques. Why? We will see. Yeah, and that's what happened. How's that? All right. Chapter 10. The Young Chivalrous Hero. Would Guojing know these Mongolians? Good question. Yulu Qi. So this is the guy that just defended his father, and Yang Guo thinks has some good martial arts. Yulu Qi said, "Third sister, watch closely. I'll strike her arm ru point." Arm ru point? Oh no. She'll be forced to retreat on a slant, and as I follow to seize her great bone point, she'll have no choice but to lift her blade and cut back. At that moment, move fast, and you can take her weapon. Why is he explaining the entire strategy right in front of this woman? Why is now is the arm ru point? Now is the great bone point? Oh no. I need to tell the AI to use the romanization of these acupoints. Unless you guys like this. The great bone point. The girl in black snapped. "Bah! It's not that easy." Yulu Qi said, "It is." He sent his right palm toward her arm ru point. The strike looked crooked and wavering, yet it sealed all paths before, behind, and to either side, leaving only the rear left diagonal open. To evade him, the girl had no choice but to retreat 2 slanted steps. Yuluchi nodded and reached for her great bone point. The girl kept reminding herself, "Don't lift the blade and cut back," but the situation left no alternative. Only by lifting the blade to counter could she defend and retaliate at once. She had no time to think. Her knife was already swinging back. Yuluchi said, "Exactly so!" Everyone thought he would seize the blade, but instead, he withdrew his right hand, cupping both hands inside his sleeves. The girl struck empty air and stared, startled, as his hands vanished inside his robe. Suddenly, his right hand shot out. 2 fingers pinched the knife's spine and lifted. She couldn't keep her grip, and the weapon was his. For a moment, the room fell silent in stunned awe. Then came a burst of chatter. The black-clad girl stood motionless, her face full of despair. Everyone thought, "The second young master isn't trying to capture her. He's clearly sparing her life. If she won't leave now, when will she?" Yuluchi backed away and said to Yilu Yan, "She's lost her weapon. Try her again. Be bolder and watch her palms and legs." Yilu Yan stepped forward and said, "Wen Yanping, we've spared you time after time, yet you keep hounding us. Even today you refuse to give up." Wen Yanping? Daughter of Wen Yan Honglia? No. Someone from the Wan Yan family then. So she's a jinn, right? Wen Yanping did not answer. She lowered her head in silence. Yilu Yan said, "Since you insist on settling this, then let's fight it out cleanly." She rushed forward and threw 2 punches straight at her. Wen Yanping leapt back to evade and said bleakly, "Give me back my knife." Yilu Yan was startled. "My brother took your weapon so we could fight evenly. Why are you asking for it back?" She said, "Very well." She took the willow leaf blade from her brother and tossed it to her. A guard reversed his single-edged saber and offered it hilt first. "Third miss, use a weapon too." Yilu Yan said, "No need." But then she thought, "Barehanded, I can't defeat her. Let's compare blades instead." She accepted the saber and tested 2 light cuts. It was a bit heavy, but manageable. Wen Yanping's face was deathly pale. Holding the knife in her left hand, she pointed her right at Yilu Chutai. "Yilu Chutai, you aid the Mongols and cause the deaths of my father and mother. In this life, I cannot avenge them. We'll settle it in the next world." Everyone just likes to suicide themselves. Before she finished speaking, she swept the blade toward her own neck. As Youngguo heard these words, a sorrowful look flashed in his eyes. His heart thudded. A sharp pain seized his chest, and he cried out involuntarily, "Auntie!" In that instant, Wen Yanping had already slashed at her throat. Yuluchi lunged forward, his right hand darting out. 2 fingers caught her willow leaf blade again, wrenching it away, while his other hand struck her arm's acupoint. "Why seek death when you're perfectly well?" he said. Does this guy like her? Her suicide attempt and his disarming strike happened in a blink. By the time the others saw clearly, the blade was once again in Yilu Chi's hand. The room erupted in shock. No one paid attention to Youngguo's cry, but Lu Wushuang beside him heard it clearly. She whispered, "What did you shout? She's your auntie?" Youngguo hurriedly said, No, she isn't." He had seen in Wen Yanping's eyes the same desolate anguish, that utter hopelessness that he had seen in Xiaolongnu when she parted from him. The sudden resemblance struck him like a blow, and for a moment he was lost to everything around him. Yulu Chutai said slowly, "Miss Wenyan, you have attempted to assassinate me 3 times. I, as Chancellor of the great Mongol nation, destroyed your great Jin and brought ruin to your parents. But do you know who destroyed my own ancestors? Wen Yanping gave a faint shake of her head. I don't know. Yilu Tsutai said, My ancestors were of the imperial clan of the great Liao, and it was your Jin Empire that destroyed Liao. The Yulu clan of my great Liao, your Wanyan clan slaughtered us until barely a few remained. In my youth, I swore revenge, and so I aided the great Khan in destroying your Jin. Alas, a vengeance upon vengeance. When will it ever end? His issues run pretty deep. Yeah, Yang Guo has deep issues. As he spoke the last words, he lifted his gaze toward the window. He thought of great cities burned to ash, homes turned to ruins, corpses piled into mountains, rivers flowing red, all for the sake of a few families' struggle for imperial power. Wen Yanping stared blankly, teeth clenched on her upper lip. I failed 3 times to avenge my parents because my skills are lacking. So be it. But if I choose to take my own life, what concern is that of yours? Yiluchi said, As long as you promise not to seek revenge again, you may go. Wen Yanping gave another cold snort and glared. Yiluchi reversed the willow leaf blade and tapped her waist lightly with the hilt to release her acupoint, then offered the knife to her. She hesitated before finally taking it. Young Master Yilu, you have shown me leniency and courtesy many times. Of course I know this, but the hatred between our Wenyan and Yilu clans is as deep as the sea. No matter how noble and gracious you act, I must repay the blood debt of my parents. The Khitan are Qiao Feng's people? Yeah. Yiluchi thought, She won't stop pursuing this. Her martial arts aren't weak. I can't remain at father's side every moment. What if something goes wrong? Better to force her to aim her hatred at me alone. He said loudly, Miss Wenyan, avenging your parents is admirable, but grudges of the older generation should be settled by the older generation. We juniors have our own affairs. The blood feud between our families, bring it to me. If you trouble my father again, then the next time we meet, matters will be difficult between us. Why doesn't he just want to kill her? Wen Yanping said, My skills are far inferior to yours, but could I avenge myself on you? Never mind. What? She covered her face and turned to leave. Yiluchi knew she would surely attempt suicide again once she went out. Wanting to save her life, he let out a cold laugh. Ha ha! The Wanyan women are truly spineless. Wen Yanping spun around. Who's spineless? Yiluchi sneered. Yes, my skills are better than yours. But what's so remarkable about that? I met wise teachers. It's not because I'm inherently extraordinary. Your iron palm techniques are, in fact, among the finest martial arts in the world. Iron palm. Your teacher failed to master it thoroughly, and you've trained too briefly. Losing is natural. You're still young. If you seek a better master and work hard, why shouldn't you succeed? Wen Yanping's heart, full of anger, could not help but quietly agree. Yiluchi continued, Whenever I fought you, I used only my right hand, not out of arrogance, but because my left hand is too powerful and might seriously injure you. Okay, just calm down, dude. Listen well. When you have trained under a true master, come find me anytime. You can force me to use my left hand. I will bare my neck for your blade without complaint. He knew her skills were far below his. Even with superior instruction, she would never force him to use his left hand. Suicidal impulses came in moments of rage. Once she devoted herself to training, her mind would settle and the urge would pass. Bro's going hard on that left hand technique. He's so thoughtful of her. Does he like her? Seems that way. Why would he let her survive? Because maybe she'll go back and try to kill his father again. Wen Yanping thought, "You're no immortal. If I train with all my heart, why shouldn't both my hands defeat your one?" She lifted the knife in a light cut through the air and said solemnly, "Very well. A gentleman's word." Yiluchi finished, "Is as a whip to a swift horse." Wen Yanping did not glance at anyone again. She raised her head and strode out, though she could not hide the desolate sorrow on her face. The guards saw the second young master allow her to leave, and naturally dared not stop her. They saluted Yilu Tsutai in alarm and withdrew. Yilu Jin found it strange that such a commotion had erupted, yet Yang Guo never showed himself. Yilu Yan said, "Second brother, why did you let her go again?" Yilu Chi said, "What?" Yilu Yan laughed. "If you want her to be my sister-in-law, you shouldn't let her leave." Yilu Chi's face hardened. "Don't talk nonsense." Seeing he was serious, Yilu Yan feared he would be angered, and dared not joke further. Outside the window, Yang Guo heard Yilu Yan say, "Want her to be my sister-in-law." A sudden, inexplicable soreness welled in his heart. Seeing Wen Yanping stride away toward the southeast, he said to Lu Wushuang, "I'm going to take a look." Lu Wushuang asked, "Look at what?" Yang Guo did not answer. He used his lightness skill and followed. All right, another member of the harem. Wen Yanping's martial arts were not exceptional, but her lightness skill was superb. Yang Guo summoned his strength and gave chase. Not until they had reached the outskirts of Longju village did he see her figure again. She slipped into the courtyard of her house and entered a room. Yang Guo leapt in after her and hid beside the wall. All right, kind of creepy. After some time, light flared in the west wing, followed by a long sigh, a sigh filled with endless grievance and sorrow, with every kind of suffering entwined within it. Outside the window, Yang Guo listened, stunned. His own heart stirred. Without realizing it, he too let out a heavy sigh. Wen Yanping heard someone sighing outside her window. Startled, she blew out the lamp and pressed herself against the wall. "Who's there?" she whispered sharply. Yang Guo said, "Someone like you. Another wounded soul." Wen Yanping was even more surprised. Hearing no malice in his tone, she asked, "Who are you?" "There's an old saying, a gentleman waits 10 years for revenge. You failed in your attempts and immediately wished to die. Isn't that treating your own life far too lightly?" "True." Yang Guo, the only sensible one in Wuxia. "And treating your blood-deep hatred far too lightly as well?" With a creak, the doors swung open. Wen Yanping lit a candle. "Please, come in." She's very trusting. Looks like Yang Guo is collecting girls who remind him of his auntie. True. Sensible is a stretch, in this case. In this very specific case. Yang Guo cupped his hands in greeting and stepped inside. She saw he wore a Mongol officer's uniform and was so young. Surprise flickered across her face. "Your advice is sound. May I ask your distinguished name?" Yang Guo did not answer. With his hands tucked inside his sleeves, he said, "Yilu Chi boasts shamelessly, thinking using only his right hand is impressive. But to seize a weapon or strike an acupoint, Why would one need even a single hand? Uh-huh. Wen Yanping found his claim unreasonable, but without knowing his background, she did not argue. Yang Guo said, I'll teach you 3 moves. You'll be able to force Yiluqi to use both hands. Let's test your skill first. I'll use neither hands nor feet. How about exchanging a few moves? Wen Yanping was astonished. What, does he have sorcery? Can he topple me with a breath? Seeing her hesitation, Yang Guo said, Use your blade and strike me. If I can't dodge, I'll die without regret. Wen Yanping said, Then I won't use my knife, just fists. Yang Guo shook his head. No, only if I take your knife without using hands or feet will you be convinced. Seeing his half-smiling expression angered her slightly. Your abilities are unheard of, truly astonishing. She drew the blade from her sleeve and struck at his shoulder. Afraid of harming him because his hands remained hidden, she let the strike drift slightly aside. Yang Guo saw this clearly and stood still. No holding back. Strike true. The willow leaf blade came down beside his shoulder, missing him by less than an inch. Wen Yanping was struck by his fearlessness. Is he a fool? The blade swept sideways sharply, this time without mercy. Yang Guo crouched, letting the edge whistle over his head, again only inches away. Wen Yanping gathered her focus and chopped downward. Yang Guo flowed aside with the blade's momentum. You can mix palm strikes into your blade work. Very well, she said. She swung horizontally, following with a left-hand chop. Yang Guo slipped aside. Faster, if you like. Wen Yanping unleashed her full sequence of blade techniques, palms woven among the cuts, each faster than the last. Yang Guo said, Your palm work is fiercer than your blade. Yiluqi said it was iron palm, yes? Wen Yanping nodded and attacked even more savagely. Yang Guo kept both hands hidden in his sleeves, drifting through the storm of palms and steel. Her blade and iron palm could not so much as brush his clothing. She had used more than half her sequence of blade techniques when Yang Guo said, Be careful now. Within 3 moves, I'll take your knife. By now, Wen Yanping held him in great admiration. Yet, she could not believe he could seize her weapon in only 3 moves. Still, without realizing it, she tightened her grip on the hilt. Go on then, take it, she said. She swept the blade across. In the move, clouds spanned the chin ridge, slashing at his neck. Yang Guo dipped his head and slipped beneath the blade, his brow brushing past her elbow crease, striking her Chu Chi acupoint. Now it's back to Romanized Chinese. Her arm went numb, her fingers weak. Yang Guo lifted his head and bit lightly in onto the blade's spine, plucking it from her grasp with ease. He tilted his head, the knife handle tapped her flank, sealing an acupoint. He's too good. He raised his head, released the blade, and flicked it upward. As the willow leaf knife spun high, he spoke clearly. Well, convinced? The moment the 6 words were out, the knife came falling. Yang Guo caught it again between his teeth, grinning at her. Wen Yanping stared with mingled shock and delight, then nodded. Yang Guo saw her eyes shimmer, her beauty soft and alluring. A sudden urge rose within him to embrace her, to kiss her. But the thought was far too bold, too absurd. With the knife clenched in his teeth, his face flushed scarlet. Wen Yanping had no idea of his thoughts. Seeing only his strange expression, she felt a flicker of confusion. Her entire body felt weak and tingling. Her legs seemed about to give away. He's too strong, guys. Yang Guo stepped forward until barely a foot separated them. He was about to spit out the knife and lean in to kiss her eyelid. What? Was he? When a thought struck him. She's so grateful to Yiluqi for treating her courteously. Am I any less than he? I'll surpass him in every way. Okay, now he's jealous. Well convinced is 6 words, yeah. Something up with the translation there. He lowered his head, flicked his jaw, and tapped the knife handle against her waist, unsealing her acupoint. Then he offered her the knife. Wen Yanping did not take it. Instead, she dropped to her knees. I beg Master's instruction. If I can avenge my parents, I will be forever grateful. I will do anything. No. Yang Guo, flustered, quickly pulled her up and removed the knife from his mouth. How can I be your master? But I can teach you a way to kill Yilu Qi. Wen Yanping's face lit with joy. If I can kill Yilu Qi, then his brother and sister won't frighten me. After that, I can kill his father. She suddenly stopped. A shadow dimmed her eyes. But by the time I've learned enough to kill him, that old Yilu will surely be dead already. My parents' revenge will still go unanswered. Yang Guo laughed. That old Yilu has at least a little time left. Wen Yanping blinked. What do you mean? Why is killing Yilu Qi difficult? Yang Guo said. I'll teach you 3 moves. Tonight, you can kill him. Ahaha. Wen Yanping had attempted to assassinate Yilu Chucai 3 times and had been defeated effortlessly by Yilu Qi each time. She knew he was 10 times stronger than she was. She thought, this young Mongol officer is skilled, but not necessarily as strong as Yilu Qi. Even if he is, how could 3 moves suffice to kill him? And tonight? Impossible. Fearing to offend Yang Guo, she dared not voice doubt. She only shook her head gently, her eyes, those same eyes that had made him lose himself, shimmering endlessly. Yang Guo understood. True, my martial arts may not surpass his. If we really fought, I might well lose. But teaching you 3 moves so that you can kill him tonight, not difficult at all. The only problem is whether you can bring yourself to strike. He did spare your life 3 times. Wen Yanping's heart twinged, but then she hardened it. He has shown me kindness, but the hatred for my parents must be repaid. Good. Then I'll teach you 3 moves. Then I'll teach you the 3 moves. But if you cannot kill him, what then? You may deal with me as you wish. With your abilities, if you want to strike or kill me, how could I escape? Yang Guo thought, how could I bear to strike or kill you? And whether you kill him or not, what is that to me? Yang Guo went from nice guy to plotting murder to get a girl's favor? True. They're very cavalier about this. He smiled faintly. There's nothing extraordinary about these 3 moves. Watch closely. He raised the blade and slowly swept it from left to right. The first move is clouds stretching across the Qinlin range. Wen Yanping thought, I've known this move for ages. Why bother teaching me? She tilted her body aside as the blade came across. Yang Guo suddenly reached out and caught her right hand. The second move is the withered vine coiling the tree, the one you used twice just now. Wen Yanping nodded. Yes, it's one of the techniques in my iron palm grappling. Holding her soft, smooth hand, Yang Guo felt his heart stir. He laughed. Haha, you ought to learn the half-fat jade palm instead. What are you doing studying iron palm grappling? Wen Yanping didn't realize he was teasing. There's a half-fat jade palm? The name is rather pretty. But she felt him tighten and release her palm with the lightest force. The technique seemed far weaker than her own iron palm-based grappling. So his first 2 moves are ones I already know. Can he really kill Yilu Qi with just the third? Yang Guo fixed his gaze on her eyes. Watch closely. Suddenly, his wrist flipped, and he slashed the blade toward his own throat. Ah, true. Perfect. Wen Yanping cried out, horrified. What are you doing? Her right hand was still trapped in his grip, so she hurriedly reached with her left hand to seize his knife. Even in Even in this urgent moment, her iron palm grappling remained precise. She caught his wrist and twisted outward, keeping the blade from his neck. Youngor released her and stepped back with a laugh. Ha ha ha! Have you learned it? Her heart pounded wildly. She still didn't understand his intent. Youngor said, "First, use clouds stretching across the Chinlin range to slash across. Then use withered vine coiling the tree to seize his right hand. Third, raise the blade to cut your own throat. He'll be forced to save you with his left. He swore that if you ever made him use that hand, he'll let you kill him without complaint. Isn't that it?" True. It's too smart. Wen Yanping realized he was right and stared blankly at him. Yang Guo said, "These 3 moves can't fail. If they don't work, I'll bow to you." Wen Yanping shook her head. "He said he would never use his left hand. He won't, no matter what. Then what?" Yang Guo said, "Then what? Then you'll never avenge yourself, and once you die, everything's clean and settled." Wen Yanping nodded sadly. "You're right. Thank you for showing me the way. Who are you, sir?" Before Yang Guo could answer, a girl's voice called him from outside the window. "His name is Dumb Egg. Don't believe a word he says." Yang Guo recognized Lu Wushuang's voice and only smiled without responding. The AI is now using fool. First it was idiot, now it's fool. Or it was silly egg before. Wen Yanping darted to the window, but a shadow flickered past and leapt over the wall. She moved to chase, but Yang Guo caught her hand. No need. No need. She's my companion. She loves going against me." Wen Yanping studied him for a long moment. "If you won't give your name, so be it. I believe you mean well toward me." Yang Guo saw the sorrow in her eyes and couldn't help feeling pity. He held her hand and sat with her on the edge of the bed. "My surname is Yang, given name Guo. I'm Han, not Mongol. My papa and mama are dead. In that, I'm much like you." Hearing him mention that, Wen Yanping's heart tightened, and tears spilled down her cheeks. Yang Guo's own emotions surged, and suddenly he burst into sobs. That's how you do it. Good strategy, Yang Guo. Wen Yanping drew a handkerchief from her bosom and tossed it to him. He pressed it to his face, and the more he thought about his past, the more his tears flowed. She forced a smile. "Yang Yu, look at me. Now I've made you cry." What is Yang Yu? Yang Guo said, "Don't call me Yang Yu. How old are you this year?" "I'm 18. And you?" "I'm also 18. He thought, if I'm younger by a few months and she calls me younger brother, that'd be awful. He said, I was born in the first month. From now on, call me Brother Yang. And I won't stand on ceremony either. I'll call you Sister Wen Yan." Wen Yanping blushed. His manner was so straightforward it felt odd. Yet he truly bore her no ill will. She nodded. Seeing her nod, Yang Guo felt an itch of joy he could not scratch. Wen Yanping's features were delicate, her figure thin, her fate tragic. Everything about her seemed to invite pity. And most of all, the shimmering sorrow in her eyes was uncannily like Xiaolong Nu's. He never guessed that grief gave all people a similar look. To say her eyes resembled Xiaolong Nu's was only his own self-deception. Staring into them, he imagined her black clothes turning white, her thin melon seed face becoming Xiaolong Nu's ethereal beauty. He gazed at her, dazed, his expression soft with longing, pleading, remembrance, tenderness. Wen Yanping felt a little frightened. She gently pulled her hand free. "What's wrong with you?" she whispered. Wait, where's Lu Wushuang? He's just standing there the entire time. Young Guo woke as from a dream and sighed. Nothing. Are you going to kill him? I'll go now. Brother Young, will you come with me? All right. It's a good time for a break. I'll be right back. 5 minutes. All right, we're back. He was about to say, of course, when a thought stopped him. If I'm beside her, she'll feel safe and won't truly risk her life. Yeluchi won't fall for it. So he said, I shouldn't accompany you. Disappointment flashed in her eyes. Young Guo's heart softened, and he nearly agreed. When she murmured, Very well, Brother Yang. I fear I'll never see you again. Oh, she did she? She did become part of his harem. Young Guo blurted, Why? Why? Wen Yanping only shook her head, sadly, and ran out of the room. Moments later, she had already returned to Yilu Jin's quarters. What? Does she plan to kill herself afterwards? Say my name. How's it going? The link of the song? I'll do that just for you. Alright, how do I do this? There you go. By then, Yilu Chutai and the others had retired. Wen Yanping knocked twice on the front door and said loudly, Wen Yanping asks to see young master Yilu Qi. Several guards rushed over to bar her way, but Yilu Qi opened the door. Miss Wen Yan, what instructions do you have? I've come to ask for your guidance once more. He wondered, why does she so overestimate herself? Still, he stepped aside and extended his right hand. Please, enter. Wen Yanping stepped aside, drew her blade, and unleashed 3 whistling strikes, each strike laced with 2 iron palm techniques, 1 blade, 2 palms, attacking from both sides. Yilu Qi kept his left hand lowered, using only his right to parry, chop, jab, and seize, dissolving all 3 knife strikes and 6 palms. How do I convince her to give up and never return to pester me? He thought. Wait, is that what he wants? After some exchanges, Wen Yanping was about to execute the 3 moves Yang Guo had taught her, when a girl's voice suddenly called from outside. Yilu Qi, she's tricking you into using your left hand. Be careful. It was Lu Wushuang. What? Why are you interfering? I guess it's good. Yilu Qi froze for an instant. Wen Yanping did not give him time to think. She slashed with clouds stretching across the Qinlin range, forced him to dodge, then shot out her left hand. Withered vine coiling the tree seized his right wrist, and her own right hand flipped the blade back toward her throat. In that split second, Yilu Qi's thoughts raced. Must I save her? She's tricking me. If I use my left hand, my life is hers. But how can a man watch another die and do nothing? Yang Guo had anticipated that if the 3 moves came suddenly, Yilu Qi would be forced to use his left hand. Unexpectedly, Lu Wushuang ruined it by warning him first. The trick should have failed, but Yilu Qi was too gallant. Oh. Knowing he was giving up his life, he still thrust out his left hand, blocking her wrist, twisting it, and wrenching the willow leaf blade from her grasp. Oh, if Lu Wushuang hadn't warned him, then he wouldn't have done it. After exchanging those 3 moves, both leapt back. Yiluchi did not wait for her to speak. He tossed the blade back to her. You forced me to use my left hand. You may kill me, but I have one request. Wen Yanping's face was deathly pale. What is it? Please, do not harm my father again. Wen Yanping snorted and slowly approached, raising the blade. In the candlelight, his calm, resolute expression radiated heroic dignity. Remembering that he had used his left hand only to save her, how could she bring the blade down? The killing intent in her eyes softened. She flung the blade to the ground and ran out, covering her face. Her spirit in chaos, she wandered aimlessly out of the city. Reaching a small stream, she stared at the faint starlight rippling on the water, her mind a tangle. After a very, very long while, she let out a long sigh. Suddenly, a sigh sounded behind her. Wen Yanping started and turned. Yang Guo was standing there. She whispered, Brother Yang, and lowered her head. Yang Guo stepped forward, took her hands, and comforted her. Oh man, Liu Wushuang watching does not like this. Avenging your parents is never easy. There's no need to rush. You saw everything? She asked. He nodded. With someone as useless as I am, of course revenge is difficult. If I had even half your skill, I wouldn't have ended up like this. Hand in hand, they sat beneath a large tree. Yang Guo said, Even if you learned my martial arts, what then? You may not be able to avenge yourself now, but you at least know who your enemies are. Someday you'll have your chance. As for me, I don't even know how my papa died, or who killed him. What revenge can I speak of? Wen Yanping stared. Your parents were killed too? Yang Guo sighed. Huh. My mother died of illness. My papa died mysteriously. I never even saw him once. How could that be? When I was born, he was already dead. I kept asking my mother how he died, who the killer was. Each time she only wept and wouldn't answer. Later, I didn't dare ask. I thought, when I'm older, it won't be too late, but then she suddenly fell ill and never rose again. Before she died, I asked once more. She only shook her head and said, Your papa. Child, for all your life, you must never think of revenge. Promise, Mama, never seek revenge for your papa. I was heartbroken and cried, I won't promise, I won't. She couldn't catch her breath and passed away. Mysteriously? Yeah. He sighed heavily. Tell me, what am I supposed to do? He had meant to comfort her, but speaking of it tore open his own wounds. A father's killer cannot live under the same sky. To not avenge one's father is the greatest unfilial shame. Yet Yang Guo didn't even know the murderer's name. This agony had long been buried in his heart, and now his voice throbbed with grief and resentment. Who raised you, then? Wen Yanping asked. Who else? Said Yang Guo. I raised myself. After my mother died, I wandered the world alone, begging a meal here, finding a night's shelter there. When I couldn't bear the hunger, I stole a melon or a sweet potato, and often got caught, beaten half to death. Look, these scars, this bone sticking out, they're from when I was little. He rolled up his sleeves and trousers. In the dim starlight, she couldn't see well, so he guided her hand to the ridged scars on his leg. Feeling the uneven marks, her heart tightened. Though she had lost her nation and family, her father had left many loyal followers and wealth beyond counting. Compared with him, she had been fortunate. After a long silence, Wen Yanping gently drew her hand back from his leg, though she let him continue holding it. How did you learn such powerful martial arts? And why are you serving the Mongols? Yang Guo smiled faintly. I'm no Mongol official. I wear Mongol clothes only to hide from my enemies. That's good, she said with sudden happiness. What's good? She blushed. The Mongols are my great Jin's mortal foes. Naturally, I hoped you weren't one of them. Her soft, smooth hand in his, young Guo felt his mind unsteady. What if I served great Jin instead? What then? At first, she had already admired his handsome looks and martial prowess. In danger, he had helped her with complete sincerity. Hearing his tragic past added pity to admiration. Now, though his words carried a hint of mischief, she felt no anger. She only sighed. Hey, if my papa were alive, whatever you wanted, he could give you. But now that both my parents are gone, what is there left to say? Hearing her gentle tone, young Guo rested a hand on her shoulder and whispered at her ear. Sister, I want to ask one thing of you. Should they be saying Papa and Mama instead of like father and mother? Wen Yanping's heart thumped wildly. She already guessed somewhat. What is it? I want to kiss your eyes. uh, don't worry, I'll only kiss your eyes, nothing else. At first, she thought he meant to propose marriage. Okay, just chill, guys, chill. Or worse, to force some intimacy. If she refused and he used strength, how could she resist? And her maiden's heart was already in turmoil. One of her hands was still held firmly in his rough, powerful grip, making refusal all but impossible. But he spoke only of kissing her eyes. She let out a breath of relief, yet somewhere inside felt a faint disappointment. Her thoughts tangled in confusion. She gazed at him, eyes sparkling, shy and dazed. Young Guo stared into her eyes, and suddenly Xiaolong Nu's image rose before him. Before their final parting, she too had looked at him with such shy tenderness. He cried out sharply and leapt to his feet. Ah! Wang Yan Ping flinched. She wanted to ask why, but felt too embarrassed to speak. Yang Guo's mind swirled. The only thing before him was Xiaolong Nu's gaze. Back then, he had been young, ignorant, respectful of her, unable to grasp the meaning of such affection. But after descending the mountain, traveling with Lu Wushuang, and now being so close to Wen Yanping, a sudden flash of understanding burst within him. Only now did he comprehend Xiaolong Nu's deep affection, and regret slammed into him. How could he have failed her, when she had even said she wished to be his wife? And now, where could he find her? With a sudden cry, he seized Wen Yanping in his arms and pressed fierce kisses onto her eyelids. But what is going on? Did Yang Kang technically kill Wang Yan Hongli? I forgot what happened. Did he? Seeing him so wild, she felt both fear and joy. His arms tightened around her waist like iron. She shut her eyes, letting him take his fill of that tender sweetness. His lips moved again and again, yet only on her eyes. He's like French kissing her eyes. At least he keeps his word, she thought. But why only my eyes? You hope she closed her eyes in time? Oh no. Gonna get an eye STD. Gonna get a... How I managed to forget it. When he was poisoned, he hugged him? Wait. How did Wen Yan Honglia die? Forgot. Totally forgot. Maybe Youngo is kissing her eyeballs. uh-huh. Look at eye gonorrhea. Suddenly he cried out, Auntie! Auntie! His voice burned with passion, yet was full of pain. Did you guys hear the passion and pain in my voice? Man, this girl is super confused. She had just opened her mouth to ask what he meant when a woman's voice said behind them, "Much obliged for the spectacle." Both sprang apart. A woman stood beside the tree in a blue robe. Wen Yanping's heart hammered. Her face flushed crimson. She lowered her head and fidgeted with her sleeve, too embarrassed to glance at the newcomer. Yang Guo recognized her immediately, the same person who had stolen the donkey to lure Li Mocho away, saving him and Lu Wushuang. Seeing her hair tied in twin loops, he realized she was a young woman. Another member of the harem, guys. No, Wen Yan Honglia was executed after the siege of Samarkand. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I remember. Okay. Wait, how did Yang Kang indirectly kill him? He bowed deeply. Miss, thank you for the help that day. I will never forget your great kindness. The girl returned the bow politely. Does Master Young still remember the companion who shared life and death with you? You mean, he began. She was seized just now by Li Mocho and her disciple, the girl said. Yang Guo was shocked. Truly? Is she all right? For the moment, yes. Miss Lu insisted that the secret manual was taken by the beggar clan, so the Scarlet Serpent demon pressed her to lead the way. Her life should not be in danger for now, but torment? Of course she won't escape it. Wait, she's caught? Really? Yang Guo cried. We must rescue her. The girl shook her head. Master Young, your martial arts are strong, but no match for that demoness. We would throw our lives away for nothing. In the faint starlight, Yang Guo noticed the girl's face, strangely, terribly misshapen. Oh, this is Lu Wushuang. In disguise. Maybe? Oh, maybe not. I don't know. Her features did not move in the slightest, like a corpse. The sight chilled the heart. He dared not stare, fearing his expression might offend her. Such a kind girl, yet cursed with such a face. It's truly pitiful. He asked, May I ask, Miss, your honored surname? The girl said, My lowly surname isn't worth mentioning. Master Young will know it someday. Right now, saving your companion is what matters. Her face did not move at all as she spoke. Seems like a disguise. If not for the sound coming from her mouth, one might have taken her for a walking corpse. Yet strangely, her voice was soft, sweet, and clear, soothing to the ear. Yang Guo said, Since that's so, we'll follow your plan. I await your instruction. She replied politely, Master Young, there's no need for courtesy. Your martial arts far surpass mine, and your wit leaves me in the dust. You're older than I am, and a man besides. Whatever you decide will do. I only follow your direction. Her humble, sincere words filled Yang Guo with warmth. Such a frightful face, yet such a gentle speech. Truly, one cannot judge by appearance. After thinking a moment, he said, Then we should quietly follow them and wait for a chance to rescue her. That is best. But what does Miss Wen Yan think? She stepped aside to let the two discuss. Yang Guo said, Sister, I must go rescue a companion. We'll meet again someday. Wen Yanping lowered her head. My skills are poor, but perhaps I can still help. Brother Young, let me come with you. Yang Guo was delighted. Good, good. He raised his voice toward the blue-robed girl. Miss Wen Yan is willing to help. The girl approached Wen Yanping. Miss Wen Yan, You are born of noble blood. You must think carefully. Our enemy is vicious beyond compare. She's called the Scarlet Serpent Demon. She is truly not to be provoked." Her voice was refined and courteous. Wen Yanping said, "Never mind that. Brother Yang has shown me kindness. His affairs are mine as well. And you, elder sister, I already wish to befriend. I will go with you. I'll simply be cautious." The girl took her hand gently. "That is excellent. If you are older than I, then call me younger sister." In the darkness, Wen Yanping could not see her ugliness. Hearing her lovely voice and feeling her soft, delicate hand, she assumed she was a beauty. She asked, "How old are you, sister?" The girl laughed softly. "No need to compare ages now. Saving someone comes first. Master Yang, isn't that so?" Yang Guo said, "Indeed. Please lead the way." They headed southeast. They must be bound for Dasheng Pass. The three set off at once, racing southeast with lightness skill. The ancient tomb sect was famed for lightness skill, the best in the world. Though Wen Yanping was not highly skilled overall, her agility was far from poor. Yet the blue-robed girl followed behind her unhurriedly. When Wen Yanping sped up, she sped up. When Wen Yanping slowed, she slowed. The distance between them never changed. This is Lu Wushuang, right? It's gotta be. Yang Guo marveled. Which sect is she from? Her lightness skill surpasses Sister Wen Yan's. Not wishing to show off before the two girls, he stayed behind them. By dawn, the girl took dried rations from her pack and shared them. Yang Guo noticed that though her robe was plain cloth, the stitching was exquisite, and the fit perfect. Isn't Lu Wushuang limp? Okay, so it's not. Showing off her slim, graceful form, more becoming than fancy silk. Her rations, water flask, and every item were arranged neatly, showing her meticulous nature. When Wen Yanping finally saw her face clearly, she nearly jumped. She dared not look again. How could such an ugly woman exist? After they ate, the girl asked, "Master Yang, Li Mocho recognizes you, does she not?" "She has seen me several times," Yang Guo replied. The girl took a thin, silk-like object from her pouch. "This is a human skin mask. Wear it, and she won't know you." Oh, okay, so she's wearing the same mask? Or a similar one? Yang Guo took it. The mask had openings for eyes, nose, and mouth. When he pressed it to his face, it fitted perfectly, as though it were part of his skin. He was overjoyed and thanked her repeatedly. Wen Yanping saw how Yang Guo's appearance changed completely once he put on the mask, becoming unspeakably ugly. Only then did she realize the truth. She said, "Sister, so you're wearing a human skin mask as well. I was such a fool. I nearly thought you were born looking like that. I'm so sorry." The young woman smiled. With young Master Young's handsome looks, wearing a mask is quite a grievance for him. As for my appearance, masked or not, it's all the same. Wen Yanping said, I don't believe that. Sister, take off your mask and let me have a look, will you?" Kind of rude. Yang Guo, curious himself, also wanted badly to see the girl's face, but she stepped back 2 paces and said with a laugh, Don't look. My strange face will frighten you both." Seeing she was determined, Wen Yanping had no choice but to drop the matter. By midday, the three reached Wu Pass. They chose a table in an inn and sat down to eat. The shopkeeper saw Yang Guo dressed as a Mongolian officer and dared not slack off, serving them with great deference. Must be Guo Fu? Oh yeah, true. True, I believe that. They were halfway through the meal when the curtain lifted and the three women entered, Li Mocho and her disciple escorting Lu Wushuang. Yang Guo thought that although Li Mocho certainly would not recognize him now, such a grotesque face might still arouse her suspicion and cause trouble. He turned his head away and focused on his food, listening quietly. But Lu Wushuang said nothing, and after ordering food, Li Mocho and Hong Lingbo also remained silent. Wen Yanping, remembering Yang Guo's descriptions of the trio, grew anxious. She dipped the reverse end of her chopsticks into the soup and wrote on the table, "Shall we act?" Yang Guo thought, "Even with the three of us, and with my bride as well, we still might not match her master and disciple." My bride. This has to be done with wit, not force. He slowly shook his chopsticks a few times. Footsteps sounded on the stairs. Two people came up. When Yanping glanced sideways, it was the brother and sister, Yilu Qi and Yilu Yan. The two were surprised to see her, nodded in greeting, and found a seat. Ever since Wen Yanping had left them, they knew she would no longer attempt assassination, and so they had parted from their elders and gone traveling together. Meeting her again here reassured them even more. Li Mocho had been miserable ever since the Five Poisons secret manual fell into the beggar clan's hands. She had eaten poorly for days, and after half a bowl of noodles, she set down her chopsticks and looked out the window. Suddenly, she saw two beggars standing at the corner of the street, each with 5 cloth bags on his back, 5 bagged disciples of the beggar clan. An idea struck her. She went to the window and beckoned. "Heroes of the beggar clan, please come upstairs. I have a message I must trouble you with to pass to your chief." She knew that if she summoned them without cause, they might refuse, but a message for their chief was something they could not ignore. Lu Wushuang knew that her master was surely going to demand answers regarding the whereabouts of the 5 Poisons secret manual. Her face went pale. Yilu Qi was aware of the beggar clan's great power in the north, became curious. This beautiful Taoist woman actually had a message for their chief. What was her background? He paused with his wine cup and watched from the corner of his eye. Moments later, the stairs creaked as 2 beggars came up. They saluted Li Mocho and said, "Immortal Fairy, what are your orders? We will, of course, comply." After bowing, they straightened. One of them caught sight of Lu Wushuang, and his face suddenly changed. He had once ambushed her on the road. He tugged at his companion, and the two leapt back to the stairway. Li Mocho smiled faintly. "Please, look at the backs of your hands." Both beggars glanced down, and each saw 3 vermilion marks, like cinnabar fingerprints. They had no idea how she had managed, with utterly unmatched speed, to strike them with the 5 Poisons divine palm without anyone noticing. Not even Yang Guo nor Yilu Qi had caught her movement. The 2 beggars gasped, crying out together, You're the Scarlet Serpent Fairy!" Li Mocho said softly, "Go tell your chief that the beggar clan and I, Li, have always kept well apart. I have long admired the heroes of your clan, yet have never had the fortune to meet them and receive their guidance. It is a lifelong regret." The 2 beggars exchanged glances, thinking, "You speak so politely, so why strike us with poison for no reason?" Li Mocho paused and said, "You two have been struck by the 5 Poisons divine palm. There's no need to worry. As long as the stolen manual is returned, I will naturally cure you." One beggar asked, "What manual?" Li Mocho smiled. "Just an old, worthless book, hardly worth a few coins. If your clan insists on keeping it, that's no matter either. I will simply take 1,000 beggar lives as compensation." The two beggars still felt nothing unusual in their hands, but each time she spoke, they could not help glancing again at the backs of their hands. They had long heard how vicious the scarlet serpent palm was, how agonizing the death once poisoned. Their imaginations ran wild. The 3 vermilion fingerprints seemed to be spreading. Hearing her threats, they decided they could only report to their regional elder and discuss further. Exchanging a look, they rushed downstairs. Li Mocho thought, if their chief wants to save these 2 lives, he'll have to bring me back the 5 Poisons secret manual. Wait, no good. What if they copied it and return only the original? Then another thought struck her. All the antidotes to my palm strikes, hidden weapons, every poison, they're written clearly in the book. Now that they have it, why would they come beg me for anything? Her face changed sharply. She leapt forward and cut the 2 beggars off at the top of the stairs. With 2 bangs, she struck them back up onto the landing. A yellow shadow flashed. She had already returned to the upper floor, seized one beggar by the arm, gave a twist, and with a crack, his arm bone snapped, hanging limp. The other beggar was horrified, but loyal. Rather than flee, he rushed forward to shield his companion. As Li Mocho advanced, he punched desperately. She caught his wrist with ease, twisted again, and snapped his arm. The 2 beggars were gravely injured in a single move each. Knowing they would not survive this day, they pressed their backs together and raised their unbroken arms, prepared to fight to the death. Li Mocho said gently, You 2 will stay here. Your chief may redeem you with the manual. Seeing her sit back down to drink wine with her back turned, they inched toward the stairs, hoping to seize a chance to escape. Li Mocho turned and smiled. It seems I must break your legs as well, if I'm to keep such honored guests. She rose to her feet. Hong Lingbo could not bear it. Master, let me watch them. They won't get away. Li Mocho sneered. Such a tender heart. She walked slowly toward the beggars. They trembled, half with rage, half with terror. The Yilu siblings had watched all along. At this point, they could endure no more and rose together. Yilu Qi whispered, Third sister, leave quickly. This woman is terrifying. Yilu Yen asked, And you? I'll save the beggars, then run for my life. Yilu Yen, who believed her brother unmatched in martial skill, could hardly believe he spoke of fleeing. At that moment, Yang Guo slapped the table hard, strode to Yilu Qi, and said, Brother Yilu, how about we join forces and save them? He wanted to rescue Lu Wushuang. Sooner or later, he would have to confront Li Mocho. Having such a skilled ally willing to act righteously, how could he not seize the chance? Yilu Qi saw the Mongolian officer clothing, the grotesque face, and realized he had never once met this man. Since he was with Wen Yanping, he must know who Yilu Qi was. But Li Mocho's skill was so overwhelming that even he himself had little hope of victory. If an ordinary fighter joined in, it would only be throwing away a life. He hesitated to reply. Hearing Yang Guo speak, Li Mocho looked at him over. His voice sounded familiar, yet his face was so unforgettable that she was certain they had never met. Yang Guo said, I have no weapon. I'll borrow one for now. With a flicker of movement, he swept past Hong Lingbo, plucking the sword sheath from her belt as he passed. He kissed her cheek and exclaimed, So fragrant. Hong Lingbo struck back with her palm, but he dipped his head and slipped beneath it, coming to stand between the 2 beggars and Li Mocho. The speed and agility of that move were extraordinary, the finest lightness skill he had trained while chasing sparrows in the cramped chambers of the ancient tomb. Li Mocho felt a jolt of alarm. Yilu Qi, however, was overjoyed and called out, Brother, May I ask your honorable name? Young Guo waved his left hand. My surname is Young. He raised the sheath. If I'm not mistaken, the sword inside is broken. He drew it out. The blade was indeed snapped. All right. I think that's a good place to stop. How did you guys like that? That's a fun one. That's a fun one. We found some new members of our harem. Young Guo committing sexual assault a couple times. It was fun. Got kind of weird. Yeah, a little bit. All right, guys. I gotta go have dinner with the family and then go to a temple and celebrate New Year's. What a cliffhanger. Yeah. Young Guo collected a few girls. All right. Happy New Year's. Gong hei fat joy. All right, guys. Yeah. Tune in next time. All right. Should be good. I want to see the fight. See what happens. All right, guys. Thanks for coming. I love you. I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.